I think restoration appeals to me because, well, let's be real, I'm cheap. The upfront cost is usually low. The fact that others don't see or care about its intrinsic value, I think that speaks to me at some level. I think it's a reminder to me of an item's former worth, and I'm intrigued by the opportunity to exercise whatever abilities I have to somehow bring back a lost value to an item. That challenges me. It's fun. It's fun, the hunt to find something that you can't buy at Cabela's or Walmart. They aren't making any of these anymore. So you got to find it. You got to root it out. You got to dust it off. It's dirty when you get it. It's not shiny and new unless you pay a lot. But the reality is that all of these items right now, with the exception of one or two, are not functioning yet. Somewhere along the line, they were misused. Dirt got in where the fuel goes and plugged the generator. The fragile mantle that burns the fuel bright white has been broken or just shaken off, shaken loose. The seal that holds the caps on the fuel tank, some of them are brittle and no longer allow the tank to hold pressure. The pump's leather gasket is worn and dried with time and no longer pushes air into the tank. They've been damaged by people. They've been damaged by time. They didn't receive the care that they required. They just weren't really well taken care of. They're just like a whole lot of us. Parts broken, parts worn out, used, maybe abused. And now they are shadows of what they used to be, pictures of what they could be. They just need someone to restore them. It won't happen overnight, and it won't happen on its own. Somebody has got to be intentional. Somebody has to be. I mean, I'm talking just about these natural things, but somebody has to be intentional about doing the repairs. Somebody has to be intentional about knowing what happens. Maybe I'll say it like this. Someone has to go back to some original owner's manuals and put some parts back in that need to be replaced. Somebody has to do a work of restoration. And I'd like to take the physical so we can mirror the spiritual for a moment this morning, because all of us have a little bit of that wrong in us. And sometimes we need to take a trek back to the one that is able to do the restoration. We need to go back to the restorer of broken lives, and we need to go back to the restorer of broken hearts, and we need to go back to the restorer that can reach in and repair and bring back to being what you were intended to be. We need to go back to God. That's what revival is all about. Revive us, O Lord, was about setting our heart right and getting us put back in the right direction. But God doesn't want to leave us the way that he found us. God has an intention for us to become something greater than what we were. Our latter is intended to be greater than our former. The last shall be greater than the first. That's the God that we're talking about this morning. That's the God that we've been praising. That's the God that we've been celebrating. We're talking about a God that can restore this morning.